So, what do you do when you're an actor and you're starting to get up in years and you're not able to do the action films that you once were? You do another action film, of course. The November Man is a film directed by Roger Donaldson, and it stars Pierce Brosnan, Luke Bracey, and Olga Kurylenko. You kind of have to say it like that. In this film, Pierce Brosnan plays an ex-CIA operative who is brought back in for one more mission. In the process of all that, he winds up kind of on the other side of this younger spy played by Luke Bracey, who he has trained. And in the middle of all of this is Olga Kurylenko's character, and she plays a social worker that kind of gets embroiled in this conflict. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's Pierce Brosnan playing a spy in a movie. I mean, this is a chance for him to play like another Bond-like character. And who knows, maybe he'll pull Liam Neeson in Taken and, revitalize his career with this crazy action film. Nah, not so much. Now, don't get me wrong, Pierce Brosnan is actually pretty good in this film. He's a seasoned actor, and it shows. On top of that, there's, some elements of this character that he's played before in other films. And he definitely shows that he's still got it. He can shoot a gun with the best of them, and he has some hand-to-hand combat scenes that were really good, and a lot of suspenseful dialogue scenes that he performed very well, and he was the best part of this film, easily. That being said, this film is not like Bond. If you go into this expecting it to be Pierce Brosnan's version of Never Say Never Again, you're going to be sorely disappointed. This film is gratuitous in its violence and in other things. It's rated R for a reason. And at times, it kind of seemed like a lot of that was kind of tacked on. It didn't really seem like it was necessary to the plot. It seemed shoehorned in. It was almost like it was trying to be a little bit more edgy, and it felt like it needed to put that stuff in there in order for it to, get to that point. The other bright spot of this film, I thought, was Olga Kurylenko. I really like her as an actress. I've seen her in a few things, and she just has this ability to be saying nothing and just looking at the camera, or in a scene, and you can just tell what she's feeling. I thought she was pretty good in this film, and she has some moments where she gets to express some of the depth behind her character by literally saying nothing, and I really enjoyed it. I thought that she was good in this film. If there's a weak link in this chain, it has to be Luke Bracey. He wasn't horrible, he just wasn't very memorable. I felt like the film gave him a couple of moments in it where it was trying to help us identify with him and to understand his character. And it just didn't happen. His performance just didn't seem to convey what his character was really all about. And I found myself, leaving the movie, thinking back on him and saying, who was that guy and what was he about? And I still am not completely sure. Now, the overall story is based on a book, and there are many elements to the main story that seem to work. It's understandable, and it seems to be a cohesive plot. That said, there were several scenes in the film that didn't really seem to make sense, and they didn't really seem to go anywhere. There's one particular scene in the middle of the film where Pierce Brosnan and Luke Bracey are in the scene together. And it's a very intense scene, and on one hand, Pierce Brosnan's character kind of flips on you, and it's not really set up beforehand, and so he's doing these things, and you're just like, what is going on? But at the end of the scene, I'm looking at it, and it's over, and I'm like, what just happened? Like, what did I just witness? What was the point of it? And I was hoping that they would explain it later, that it would have some kind of meaning later on in the film, and it doesn't. It's just there. It just was odd, and there were several scenes like that, and it definitely detracted from the film as a whole. Even the film's ending was kind of odd and abrupt, and I won't give anything away, but it was just, I was watching it, and I'm like, oh, okay, blah, 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 blah. You know, oh, blah. And then all of a sudden, oh, it's over. And I'm just, then the credits roll, and I'm just like, okay, I guess that's the end of the movie. It was just odd. I didn't understand why they felt the need to do those types of things. Overall, the movie was okay. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Like I said, Pierce Brosnan is still strong, and it's good to see him in that role. And there were a couple of good scenes, some action scenes that were well done. But it's not quite there as a film. So, how do you feel about Pierce Brosnan doing action films again? And have you seen this film, and what did you think about it? Leave a comment below, and maybe we can talk about it. And as always, click right here if you like what you see, and subscribe to even more of me.